Hello and welcome to the Talking Toll podcast. I'm your host Teddy,
And I'm Hayden.
and today we're going to be reviewing the tmnt 2012 Season 1 Episode 10, Panic in the Sewers. So, what did you think about this episode, briefly?
This episode was a very, very crazy episode. It was very, there was a lot of panic, as the title insists, but this episode was very crazy. I'm still trying to process how the episode played out. It was so much going on. You had to, stop and understand each scene, but overall, this was quite a good episode, because we saw a lot of new people, but we'll leave that for later on in the podcast. But overall, crazy episode. Good one to watch.
Yeah, I would say that this episode was I'd say this episode was a really good one. However, there were things for me, I'd say, that really annoyed me in terms of the themes and ideas, which I feel like were presented the ideas and the themes that are in this episode were really good ones, which I feel like would have been better to expand upon in future episodes. But because it was only a one done type thing for this episode, it sort of annoys me. But I feel like I might expand on this a little bit later during the episode. Okay, so the first scene begins with Splinter having a little nightmare with the Turtles fighting Shredder in an alleyway before Splinter wakes up and tells Turtles that he can't, and Turtles can't leave. What do you think about this little scene?
This scene was, to be honest, I kind of got chills from it. At first you'd think it was one of the normal patrols that they do, and they're going out on a mission and they're doing their normal stuff, right? And then of course, out of nowhere, Shredder appears, and I'm like, are we jumping straight into this episode? I'm like, okay, let's get it on. And then of course, the Shredder's kicking Turtle Shell all over the place, and I'm trying to figure out, is this a dream? And of course, then you figure out it is a dream. And at first, I thought it was one of the Turtles' dreams, Leonardo's dream in particular. And then of course, Leonardo is trapped by Shredder in the corner, and Shredder, I'm not gonna lie, looks pretty terrifying. From if I was a kid, like a child watching this show right now, and I saw that, I will not gonna lie, I would probably have nightmares. But luckily enough, I'm an adult, so doesn't matter. But if I was a kid, I would have serious
Man up.
man up. But literally, it was kind of creepy. Like Shredder with those big red eyes was, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of terrifying. But that's really what the episode is about, is panicked fear, which provides a great opening. Hell, I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on, and whilst I was scared as well for the turtles as well, because they're like, oh my god, Shredder's actually gonna kill them. But of course, keep it PG, folks, keep it PG. But it was just crazy. And then of course we find out it's Splinter's dream, and I'm just trying to figure out how Splinter got the characters so good in that dream. I know he raised them and all, and he's his father, but somehow he got them specifically, Leonardo's heroism and Raph's anger, and of course, Donatello's nerdy side to Frost and the science behind it all. I kind of lost halfway through, but luckily enough, Raph knocked some sense into him. But it was so weird how he got it so perfect with all the turtles, and then of course it was just a dream, which
Yeah.
I'm still trying to process how that's working out right now. But overall, that scene was pretty cool in my opinion.
You have to say that, the opening scene, I thought it was interesting. I thought that Shredder with the red eyes, I thought that was a really cool thing. Just because I know that in the comics that it has been presented a few times before, and then in the 2003 show, he's had the red eyes. And I feel like having it here that brings a whole new different tone to the character, which it works really well for him. But yeah, I also have to say that as you pointed out, that my Smith's dream got the characters spot on. I don't know if that's a good thing, how perfect that is, or a bad thing. But yeah, but overall, do you think this opening was like a little bit pointless and weird in a way? Um,
Mm,
I mean, just because why would he be thinking about the Turtles going off and then getting killed by Shredder? I know that maybe it's a nightmare, but at the same time,
mm.
it still just feels a little bit weird to come out of nowhere. Because in fact, the last episode was a big one back with the Shredder, and now just going straight into this one. Yeah. Um. So yeah, after that scene, we got the Turtles training in the lair. And after that, we got Leo watching Space Heroes, and Raph losing his cool about a water balloon. What did you think about these scenes?
We're going back to the brotherly love again, and of course, the series definitely promotes brotherly love, and this brotherly love is just it's just typical for the turtles to have this connection. Of course, Mikey, being the clown of the show, likes to cause havoc and chaos, and I quite enjoyed that one because he's pranking, and he calls himself Doctor Frankenstein. Doctor Frankenstein, like I'm not gonna lie, it's like you could have thought of a better name, but it's like, I'll roll with it. I'll roll with it. The Doctor Frankenstein. Doctor Frankenstein. Frankenstein. Frankenstein, yes. Keep saying Frankenstein for some odd reason.
Yeah, I would say the training scene. I thought that was really cool to see. To don't, I know that the ninja and all that, but like for some reason we don't really ever really get to see the Turtles training too much. So I thought that was like a really not like nice scene to watch, but like didn't really add too much to it because in that for most of it, that's when I want them to train. The space hero stuff. I thought that was like I and I feel like you probably might have noticed this, like near the end of the episode, um, that the Space Heroes episode was very, I think, like it was very close to the actual story of this episode in terms of having anxiety, and fear about the mission. So I thought that was like a interesting touch for the episode. And then the Frankenstein thing, I still feel like Ras Ango is just a bit out of because it comes out of nowhere, really. Like, this episode, he's just like really angry all the time for some reason in this episode. I don't know if that is how he deals with his anxiety or what, but still, either way, I feel like we got over that like a few episodes ago. Um,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
yeah,
His anger,
and
like
yeah,
Raph's anger went from 10. From Raph's anger went from dial 1 to dial 11 real quick in this episode. Real quick. And of course, I don't know, like you said, the stress and anxiety with it all, but honestly, his outbursts and his rage as well. I just, I don't get it. I thought we passed this, but guess not. Guess Raph is still Raph at the end of the day.
yeah. Okay, so then after that, we got April Neil giving the Pearl Dragons a piece of box with a spy thing in it. So okay, so how dumb of the Pearl Dragons to not notice the little spy thing on the bottom, as the piece of box will not go down straight, and then April was there, and then I like how on the phone the app that she's using is spyteam.com. You don't get any more generic than that.
Oh no, definitely not. Definitely not. Like, surely though, the purple dragons would notice there's a device underneath the box when they put their hands underneath the box to grab it, right? You would think that, right?
Well,
But
you'd hope so.
guess not. Well, you would hope so, yes, but clearly for these three, pretty dumb, in my opinion.
Yeah. So after that, we've got April goes back to Sewers to tell the turtles about this news, and this is where I felt like got a bit weird in a way, because when Pearl Dragons are talking, they say that Shredder knows the location of the turtles, but the only thing is that he doesn't actually know the location of the turtles. I mean, even though he says like he only knows that they're in the sewers, the only way they'll know that is from episode 4, when Toles fought Chris Bradford and Xavier in the sewers. So um, I'm sort of very unclear on how he officially knows that, or unless he's just guessing, I guess.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. I was trying to figure out where Shredder would find out where they actually lived. Like, it could have been in, like, the episode where Brad Rad, and of course, Brad Rad, where he fought them in the sewers, and they ambushed him and the Foot in the sewers. So I guess they kind of put the two and two together to say, oh look, they're living in the sewers. It's like, how did you know that the turtles and the ninjas? I don't know. Put the two together and see what happens. Come up with the idea of sewers.
Yeah. Okay, so after that, we got the Toes versus Dog Pound fight scene. Okay, so quick question: what do you think of Dog Pound and Chris Bradford's new design?
The Chris Bradford and Dog Pound, I was not expecting it. I wasn't expecting the sudden introduction of Dog Pound, and for a sec I had to process on who this new character was. It's like, who is he? Like, is he a new guy or is he an old guy? And then I realised he's Chris Bradford, and the only reason that I knew that it was Chris Bradford is by his voice, and that was really interesting. And I'm going off topic here. I know I'm going off topic. I'm probably going into some trivia alongside, so stop me if I'm going overboard. But he sounds. I know Chris Bradford plays as the character Mr. Krabs, and in this scene, I don't know why, it sounds so much like Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob SquarePants. Like, hear me out, this it just sounds so like Mr. Krabs. He's like Mr.
Yeah.
Krabs who's just on cough syrup right at the moment. Like it's literally just I don't know. I don't know. It's something to do with Mr. Krabs and I don't know, but I'm going off topic here, but the introduction of Dog Pound was pretty cool. Like of course he's the Chow Chow dog or whatever breed of dog he is and he got mutated, of course, but it was just a really cool thing to see. Like his character, like he's got an upgrade. Well, I couldn't say an upgrade, but his character has mutated into something
Yeah.
more dangerous and more violent that the turtles have never gone up against, which can be interesting. But as later on in the show we see them fight, but we'll get onto that later.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. So, what do you think about the whole scene with him, like with Dog Pound fighting the turtles?
That scene was kind of interesting because we're discovering Dog Pound's well Bradford Dog Pound. I don't know which name to use, so I'm just going to stick with Dog Pound to make it easy on myself and
Yeah.
others are trying to understand me. Dog Pound was like we're learning Dog Pound's new abilities, his new weaponry, which he's got. He somehow got an iron fist, which is made out of bone or cartilage or something really strong and sturdy, which can go up against the
Mm.
Ninja Turtles' weapons, which is pretty cool. And of course, he's giant muscle. He's like the fluffy, incredible Hulk in this one. Like he's kicking Turtle Shell right now. He's throwing them all over the place. He's doing some damage, and it's quite interesting because it's trying to realize that the turtles have already gone up against giant mutant plants, aliens, and other
Yeah.
mutants that they can deal with, and now they're going up against this guy who somehow cannot be beaten for some odd reason. But that's just my little nitpick out of this. So, don't know. Sorry if I offended anyone, but I just thinking the turtles could have done better in fighting
Mm.
Dog Pound because you fought against aliens.
That might be down to like the anxiety.
Oh yes, good good thing you brought that up because I was going to overlook that. The anxiety part, like, was very different because you never see the turtles so anxious, and seeing them turtles anxious like was very different. As
Mm,
like, whoa, what's going on? They're like different characters in themselves when they're anxious, which led to their downfall. But it was so weird seeing them from that different perspective with them anxious and all that. But overall, it was quite a cool scene to watch.
yeah, I'll just say that like the whole scene in general, I do really like because it was set in daytime, and like the lighting does is not really dark, and you can actually see a lot more very clearly. I do feel like Dog Pound's introduction was a bit weak, with him just walking around the corner with no like context or any explanation why he's there. He just comes around the corner and just starts beating him up. I know it's all like a cool intro, intro, but at the same time, it's just like you could have done so much better. But at the same time, like you've already got like back or history with Chris Bradford, so and I feel like they could have done a little bit better with his little introduction. But I do think that like the fight scene with Dog Pound, I thought that was really interesting and really cool. However, as you do see later in the episode, I do feel like Dog Pound's like strength is a bit unbalanced because he can hit the turtles and they take it as if like oh just like a one punch from someone, but he's able to lift a car, so I found that a little bit weird. But I do think like some of the jokes within this particular scene of the episode worked quite well. With Raph being scared of, of like anxiety and all that, and then him not being able to throw the smoke bomb down. I thought it was. I felt like the comedy here worked a lot better here than all the other part of the episode and all that. Okay. Then after that, we've got April or like Toll saying they might move to a different, uh, like I'm pretty sure this is the right scene afterwards. Yeah, I think yeah. Because after this, Toll's go back and they're thinking about moving to another city and all that. Um, I don't think there's really too much here to talk about. Like, no, it's not really. So after that, we've got April sneaking into Shredder's building, and jumping over the street to get into Shredder's building. What do you think about this whole scene with April sneaking into Shredder's building and all that?
This scene was kind of interesting because it was focused on April, and of course, this episode it felt like an April episode to me. Like it was like this episode was meant for April because she's been training as a I can never remember the name for the female ninja in
Kunoichi.
in the language. Kinuich, thank you. Yes, Kinuich, and of course, seeing April expand and grow as a character was pretty cool because she was just flying up those built like scaffolding like it was no one's business. And also, I'm just gonna go off topic here. I loved how she can impersonate anyone. Like she walks up to the
Yeah,
door and says, "Look, I'm a part of the firefighters associate." Quickly shows her badge and then puts it away like it's nothing. And the guy's like, I don't trust him." And then she just barges in anyways. Like he takes
yeah,
control of the situation, which I like. I like. She takes control. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to get it done. She's gonna do it. No questions asked. She gets on the roof. She somehow, I don't know how, it's at least, I'm not gonna lie, it's gotta be at least 60, 70 foot drop if she were to fall. And I'm not gonna lie, it wouldn't be pretty, let's just say that. But
no,
I don't know if she's got like some super ninja girl power in there to jump across that, but she
yeah.
impressed. She impressed me.
Hmm?
But overall, this scene was quite an interesting one.
Yeah, I have to say that like April's little picture on her ID thing, it was I was gonna say a little bit ugly with the braces and all that. But yeah, and then like April jumping across the streets. I feel like that's a little bit. I know that we keep going on about this and over again about how it's not realistic, but jumping across that far and then nearly falling off, I feel like she probably should have fallen off. Um, and yeah, I mean, like with the April sneaking into Shredder's building, also feel like that's a little bit like I feel like there's a missed opportunity here, for like maybe showing the turtles sneaking into Shredder's lair and showing off their like ninja skills and stuff like that. And then like my final thing about this whole scene was how did Shredder get a specific hole in the window up there, not notice it, and not even notice April being up there? Because the way that his chair was, he could see where April would be. Huh.
Yeah. Now that you come to think of it, I'm trying to. Yeah, you're right. How the hell does he not notice? Like, surely he would have guards and patrols and surveillance. And. Okay, now that this doesn't make sense to me. Now that you lay it out like that, it does not make sense. Like, surely though, the Foot Clan, and of course the fish. I don't know who the fish is. Like the fish came out of the water. Like he looked over there as well, and I'm trying to figure out if the fish
Oh, that was
actually know that he's a
Zebra.
fish. Oh, that was Sever.
Yeah.
I'm only just realizing this now. How stupid am I? I thought it was just some other fish. Like, oh my god, that's a big fish. Like, he's got eyes, he's got a mouth. It's like that ain't no normal fish. Like, I did not know that was Sever. I thought Sever was like some sort of snake or something because of his name, Sever, and all
Mm,
that. But
yeah.
hold on a minute. How did he get changed into a fish? I know this is going off topic, but how is he a fish?
You know, so in the last episode, he got a fish. Somehow, that's the thing that he got mutated into when Chris Bradford opened up the mutant bomb.
Oh, right. And now I remember. Yeah, he was handling fish, but I don't. Yeah. Don't mind me. I'm just processing.
Yeah. Well, technically, the last thing he touched was turtle, so he should have turned into a turtle, not a fish. But we'll let
Yeah.
that
How?
slide.
We'll let it slide. We'll let it go. We won't nitpick at this today. We'll just let it go on. It's
We
like
can't change it now.
okay. Can't change it now. Nope.
Okay. Then after that, April gets captured by Dog Pound. So that's when the turtles use the go karts to try and rescue April. Um, Donnie and Raph go off to save April first, and I feel like this was a bit, again, a bit unrealistic because the ways that they were going to take out the Pearl Dragon driving the car was very dangerous. One, gassing him, and then blowing out his tires to the point where like it could have flipped, crashed into something. They weren't really going to save April at like the rate that they were going. They probably could have done more damage than good. Uh, but yeah, what do you think about?
Yeah, that was kind of real. Like, and of course, I'm going back to Donnie here. Donnie is somehow built phones. He's built a mechanized robot that almost killed him. Now he's building go karts that can split off into the pieces. I'm just amazed how Donnie can build such things in the sewers. Like, geez, Donnie,
Mm.
credit to you, mate. But of course, that those go karts, like, I'm not gonna lie, they weren't road certified. They weren't road certified whatsoever. Like, they're using like rackety old tires that they found in the sewers. They like the whole thing looks like it's gonna fall apart anyways. But yeah, and of course, the funny scene where they use the grappling hooks. That was disappointing, but it was the first time. It's a test run. But I'm not gonna lie, why would they use it on their first major mission?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got three things. So the first one is where's the button to shoot the grappling thing, as I didn't see one on there. And then the second thing was this is actually the first vehicle they're using in a series. Because in like every other version, the turtle, or at least Donnie makes the turtle van within like the first 3 episodes. And I must admit, I do like this
Mm.
approach of not having the van straight away. Um, and yeah, some other things was for some reason over here in the UK, they and they did actually make toys of the go karts, but they only released Donnie and Leo's one. But however, in America, you can get all 4 of them, so I'm quite disappointed with that. Um,
Oh.
and then also going off with like your point of about the go karts not or like you should have used them on the first try or shouldn't use them on the first try. I mean, like the thing is, he's in a sewer. How else would you try go karts, and all that? Because like in
Mm.
the 2003 show, there was like some really interesting scenes with his gadgets. What one was he used a glider, and he was on top of like a big bridge, just jumped off. He had no practice with the air glider, but it worked. And then there was
He just jumped
another
off.
time, yeah, it's just jumped off. And then there was another episode where basically he got
Crazy.
jetpacks for all 4 turtles. They jumped off a really tall building and somehow it worked. So,
Either they have insanely
yeah,
good skills or insanely good luck, cause I don't know.
I think it's a
Either
bit of
it's
both.
bravery or stupidity they've got. Honestly, I think it's both.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, after that we got the last fight with Dog Pound with Leo and Mikey. I thought this scene was really. I thought it was really good. I really liked the whole like the stakes with this episode with destroying the turtle's lair, and I thought it was a really good way to wrap up the ending. Really good fight, but at the same time, it felt a bit inconsistent, as you got in the first half with the turtles. Like I don't know if they're anxious, but they had more turtles that were trained, going against Dog Pound and lost. But now they got Leo and Mikey, who are not scared anymore, and now they're going up against him and slightly losing, but still winning. I found that to be a little bit inconsistent, but yeah, what do you think about this end scene?
This was interesting. I was just trying to figure out at first what it was trying to make of it all, but it seemed was just it was packed full of action, and I quite liked the action. And of course, just trying to figure out what's doing what, and overall, just a good scene in general, in my opinion. Like just trying to, there's so much action going on. There's so much stuff, and of course, the stakes are high. Like the Shredder's gonna use cronsiv cronsiferric whatever acid to drown them out, and that was quite
Yeah,
an ingenious move for Shredder right there. But of course, the turtles foiled his plans, and it could have gone smoothly for Shredder, but it didn't. Like I could nitpick at every single one of Shredder's plans and bold moves and decisions and said, look, you should have done this instead of that. But I won't go into this because we'll be here all night. But it is an interesting development, and of like the stakes are high, like the layer that their home's gonna get destroyed, and of course their father's probably gonna, you know, be burnt alive, but that's just PG-13. But but to be honest, it was just an awesome little thing. Like it was different because we were seeing new people, new bosses come out, and it was just, and especially with Dog Pound, Dog Pound, sorry, just seeing him in his prime and attack, it was just an interesting scene to watch. But overall, that is just, I enjoyed it. 100% enjoyed it.
yeah. I want to say also like this might be a bit more annoying for you, but Shredder really never really goes back to trying to destroy the sewers ever again. So, like, what's the point of you doing it the first time if he's just going to give
Serious?
up? Yeah, like this is the only time he ever does something like this in the show. If I'm remembering it correctly, and I'm pretty sure I am, this is the only time he ever goes after the turtles in the sewers.
I don't understand. Like, You should just get some more of that acid and do it then. You could have taken them out by now and ruled over New York.
Yeah. Well, it's the foot
Like they
soldiers
could
go
have used
down, do
so
like
many
a
other
raid.
tactics. Yeah, raid it. Put the acid in there. Push them out. Get the foot soldiers on standby
Mm.
and ambush them. Use their
Yes.
own tactics against them. Ah, oh, but that's
Mm.
disappointing.
Yeah, okay. So then for the final two scenes, we got Dog Pound being threatened by Shredder, and then Splinter saying that he's gonna let the Turtles be themselves now. What do you think about these two little scenes?
That scene was the scene where they're gonna be themselves, the turtles, cause at the start of the episode, Shredder was very uptight. His dream and his fears got the better of him, and if I was a father in that situation, I would probably be the same. I would probably fear for my children's lives, like they're gonna get killed by this really bad guy, and you want to protect them, which I understand. And now that Shredder understands that his fear had led to almost their downfall, which was a revelation in itself for Shredder. I mean, not Shredder, Splinter, sorry. And just allowing them to open up as the characters as well. And that scene was just quite good for me, quite good to see as well. And the other scene, what was the other scene, sorry, you say?
Basically, Shredder's going up to Dog Pound saying, don't, just don't find me again," and a very basic Shredder type scene.
Basic Shredder type scene, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that scene was, I'm not gonna lie, Dog Pound, like, it's not the same as Chris Bradford was. Like, where Chris Bradford would kneel and, of course, he would be afraid. Dog Pound is just, it's like a puppy. Like, he's cowering. You can see him shivering and shaking. He doesn't have that nobility about him. He doesn't have that, like, it just, I don't know, it just, the Dog Pound character just doesn't like Chris Bradford's supposed to be the ultimate fighting warrior, and then of course he's a dog, and now he's cowering and shivering like a puppy at his master's at his master's side, and also some weird stuff that I picked up as well. He is a dog, and of course he's now bowing to his master as he would. So I guess the dog is like a visual representation of the hierarchy of his his position. Like he's got Shredder, his
Yeah,
master, him as the dog, and he's just
also like
listening to
showing
every
like he's lost
command.
his humanity.
Oh yeah, lost his
I forgot.
lost his dignity, humanity.
Okay, no, I must admit, like hearing that now, that brings like a whole new meaning to that scene. Wow, that's actually, oh my god, that's actually really deep. Yeah,
Mind blown.
yeah, I'd say that the Shredder scene, like before we had this little discussion, I thought it was really entertaining. See Shredder, um, you know, like threaten Dog Pound. Um, okay, so before Dog Pound before Chris Bradford got turned into Dog Pound, um, you did say that Chris Bradford was your favorite character. Is he your favorite character still now that he's turned into Dog Pound?
Mm, that is a good question. I'm not gonna
I mean,
lie,
you do like
Chris
dogs.
Bradford. Like I do like dogs, yes, but this like Chris Bradford, he was built, he was jacked, he was a demigod, a vision of a demigod, right? And now he's a tall, mutated puppy, and like I love how he's got his new abilities. He's don't get me wrong, he's amazing, good character, but his dog pound character now, he's fluffy, and at first it's like, oh, he's kind of cute, but then you realize he's gonna kill you with his giant dog hands. I'm like, okay, maybe not so cute, but I'm not too sure. We'll just have to see where he goes from here.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna get so my opinion about the Splinter scene, and this is what I put up online when I was asking people the question for like their opinions on the episode, and I had a bit of conversation with someone about this. Um, but the thing is, I don't like the Splinter scene um all too much, as I feel like they set up the episode really well with the themes and ideas for this episode, in terms of Toes having anxiety, the fear, and then it's just mainly Splinter. Because I think the Toes getting having anxiety because of him, and then getting over it, and seeing that it was the downfall of Splinters. I feel like that worked really well. However, Splinter's was the main problem I had with this episode, and I feel like if Splinter was to do something, or if they were to write him a bit differently and continue the story on a bit more, this episode would have been higher up. Because Splinter within this episode, he is scared for turtles, even though he let them go up to the surface. And I know that like he's all puts like the blame on himself and all that, but then he lets the turtles go out to fight a character which they've already beaten before, and then after he's like seen them, like after they won all that, he's like, "Oh yeah, you can go back to being your normal selves." And I feel like there was like no, because at the beginning he was all like, "Oh yeah, I've told you, you need to stay here, you need to train because it's gonna be the big bad, like Shredder's here." And then at the end it's like, "Well, you can go." Like I feel like if they were to extend this little story out to another episode or two, to really see like Spencer's like really seeing the like his errors of his way, or like maybe getting into his heads and stuff like that. I just feel like Splinter could have been written a little bit better over a few episodes, instead of just this one episode where it was just all completely rushed. But I know that, like, I mean,
I
there's
do
one
agree with you
person.
there.
Yay! I'm not alone, Ben. um, so yeah. Okay, so get the comments up for what people had to say about this one. Okay, so the got freelance wall saying, our two full dog pounds intro was great. As is everyone's instances on calling it a go kart. Yeah, I must admit that was a very interesting joke to really carry on throughout the whole episode. Um, where was the and then we've got the other person which I had gone to build a conversation with from IC Wolf Creative. So this person put, this is one of the early episodes with a theme of crippling fear of Attell's perishing due to the dangers of the outside world. It would make sense that Spencer would fall back on his old habit of keeping the Tells on the ground to protect them. He kept him under his watch for 15 years, and his fear was almost realised, so went back to keeping them close to feel more in control. He evidently grew from this experience because in like a future episode, there's something that happens like this, and is in a way that he was just passing on his knowledge to a certain character. So this person also said that basically, so they would argue that the theme at the very least is expanded on later, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like
That's very, very in
even though
depth.
the whole yeah, I mean, like, even though the theme of like fear, anxiety is expanded on later for like an episode or two later, I still feel as though having it here within a 22-minute episode, and just being completely rushed, it sort of makes the story less impactful, and sort of, I mean, just because this is sort of what another one of the sort of situations with how we got like the Total Temper episode and the Donny episode. So basically, the character goes through a story arc that at the end of the day doesn't really mean much, because by the end of the episode, they really gone through it, and by next episode, they would have forgotten about it. It's so annoying.
Yeah, that is annoying. Like, I do feel like 100% I do agree with what you just said. Like, this was rushed. Like, as for me, watching this episode, I was like just thrown in at the deep end. I'm trying to understand what's going on. This is happening, and you're still trying to figure out what is actually like the scene. To be honest, I'm still thinking that it was all the dream, and Splinter's still asleep, and this was all a dream, because that scene threw me off big time, and I'm still trying to figure out. But this was very rushed. You're quite right. It was very, very rushed, but they could have done so much better. Like, especially um with Jane. like so much better with her. Like she could have been in the full uniform as well, the full ninja uniform. I hope that happens
Mm.
because becoming a female ninja, sorry, can't remember the name, but becoming a female ninja, that would be awesome to see. But I believe they could have done, like, especially with the scene with Dog Pound, like, he just comes out the corner, it's like, yo, what's up? I'm here now. It's like, there's no introduction, just they throw him in, like, hold on a minute, who are you? And as the as a
Yeah.
as the viewer, you just try and like, there's no meaning behind it. Like, sure, there's a story behind it, but the meaning needs to come with that story. But yeah, I'm not too sure. They could have done it better, in my opinion. But I agree with you what you just said. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, like yeah. This is what I meant. What like because at the beginning thing I said like my problems with this episode was that ideas and themes were not properly expanded upon, and I feel like as we're talking about it now, like we are like probably expand on these like oh we've got Dog Pound's introduction, even though it's cool to have the character in here and had a decent introduction. I mean, like all he did was just walk around the corner, just start beating up turtles. The fear thing was rushed, and like to give like a really good example from the 2003 show, when a character fails, a certain thing, he sort of goes through like an like anxiety and depression, and like they take the time to expand on it deeply to the point where like it takes up half the season, and you expand on it perfectly well, and to the point where like you actually have like a full episode directly focus on this whole like theme, depression, anxiety, and all that sort of stuff, and because you have, I mean, because you already had like 12 episodes of build up to it, and now getting to like the main problem with it and dealing with it, it feels like a big relief to have it with this one. But like you go into this episode and sort of looking at the same sort of themes and ideas, and you're seeing like the two completely different ends of like how to write it good and how not to write it good, with being rushed and having time to develop it. But yeah, do you want to hear some trivia now?
roll on the trivia.
Okay. um.
Don't know where that
Okay.
came
So this
from.
episode. Well, he's staying in the podcast now. Okay. So this episode was originally going to be titled Mojo Rising. This is the first appearance of the patrol buggy. Leo's call ID on April's phone is Ichiban Turtle, which means number one turtle. And his picture is Captain Ryan. When Dogman hijacks the tanker, he shouts out to the driver, "Get out!" This is a reference to the popular movie The Terminator, when the T-800 hijacks a tanker and tells the driver to get out. This is also a reference to the sequel, when the T-1000 tells the SWAT helicopter to get out. Hmm. We also had
OMG,
some
that is so
errors.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen the second Terminator movie, but so I'm not, so I can't exactly say if it was like a full-on reference, because I don't
I
think
can't
any
believe I
of
didn't get
the
that.
well, I mean, like you can almost just say that about anything, really. Like this person walks up to a tank and say get out. It's not really much of a reference.
Hmm. Yeah, but now that
Uh,
it's like it's in the media, like they say, oh, it's the Terminator reference, and now you realize it is a Terminator reference. But I don't know. It's different for people. You understand it or you don't.
yeah, no, I can understand if it was like a proper one, like in is like significant catchphrase or "I'll be back," but to just go to a tank and be like "Get out." You can also say that about like anything with a tanker and saying "Get out." That it's not really too much of a reference, really. Um. Oh, we do have some errors though. Okay, so April is tied up and gagged with a duct tape during the chase scene. When she gets out of the van, her hands are still tied up, but her mouth is uncovered. Um. Oh yeah. I'm not exactly too sure how she got tape off.
Oh
When
yeah,
Mikey throws
how
a,
does I'm just yeah
I'm
yeah
not too
how the hell
sure.
does that happen? I don't understand that.
maybe her legs, I guess.
Legs. Her legs are tied up as well, though. Like her hands are tied behind her
Uh,
back, her legs are tied, and she's gagged. I don't know how Dog Pound got that so quickly though. Like he's got some rope in his back pocket or something. I don't know.
he's been
I'm
practicing.
going into much detail. Mm. Practicing. Oh,
Uh,
practicing.
um.
We'll let the
Okay.
audience
So when my Michelangelo.
understand that.
Yeah, let's just move on, shall we?
Let's move on.
So when Michelangelo throws a water balloon at Donatello, it is yellow, but when it hits Donatello, it is blue. Oh, that is
Never realised that.
interesting. I mean, it's interesting, but at the same time, like, what? I mean, if I didn't know about it, then like, it wouldn't make too much big deal. But now that I know about it, it's not. I mean, it's a cool thing to know, but like, at the end of it, it's like that's not impacting my life whatsoever. But it's still pretty cool. Um.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to hear the cast?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay, so April O'Neil is voiced by Mae Whitman. Chris Bradford slash or no, it's not. No, it's just Dog Pound now actually. Voiced by Clancy Brown. Donatello by Rob Paulson. Formed by Andrew Kishno. We've got Foot Soldiers. We've got Leonardo by Jason Biggs. Michelangelo by Greg Sipes. Raphael by Sean Asantine. Shredder by Carol Markarushin. Spinner by Hoon Lee. Sid by Andrew Kishnos. Shortkeeper by Andrew Kishnos. Got Captain Ryan by Brian Bloom. Commander Grunch. Oh my god, he's voiced by Nolan North. Oh my god, do you know
Did
who
you
he
just say
is?
Noah North?
Yeah, please tell me you know who he is.
That ring. I don't know why. I'm probably gonna kick myself for it, but that name rings a bell.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start listing a few things that he's been in. He's been in the toy movie that you watch. You know the CGI one with the Stone Soldiers. He played Raphael in that. He played Iron Man in the most recent Avengers game. He was in Uncharted. He played Rocket Raccoon in the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale game. He's played the Krang in this one. Oh yeah, well, actually, one am I getting a bit too? I'm getting excited about this, even though he's been in the series before. What else has been? Like, I mean, the thing is, he's been in so much that I do feel like you would definitely have seen him in something. I'm also quite a bit embarrassed now that I got really excited about seeing. Oh my god!
Oh, it's all right, mate. We have those moments. It's good to feel excited.
Yeah, yeah, I know, but the thing is, I've watched this episode quite a few times. I've seen the show loads of times. I know that he's in the show so many times, and now that I get excited because he played a different character.
Uh,
Oh my god.
I'm laughing now.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, what did you think about this episode overall?
um, hold on, give me a sec. This episode overall, I was stop laughing. Right, right. This episode was overall quite a hectic one. As it says in its name, it's panic in the sewers. There's a lot of panic, a lot of action. Although this isn't one of my best episodes that I feel like I haven't seen so far, it is still one of the good episodes. Like, we're introduced to a whole bunch of new characters, Dog Pound and Cypher, who's apparently a fish now, but we'll look over that. But overall, this episode, episode 10, was quite an interesting one. Sure, it could have been played out a lot better, a lot more better, a lot more meaning behind the story. It was still a decent episode to watch. Not probably one of my best ones that I've seen so far, but probably one of the decent ones so far.
Yeah, I'll just say that this episode was frustrating for me. I mean, the thing is, I see so much potential in this episode and the story about it, but I just don't feel like they ever really expanded on it and used it to its true its potential. As we've clearly talked about it. Um, but I just feel like if they were to have done it slightly differently, they could have made it a bit better, I would say. And I don't know. I feel like we was going to talk about it even more. We're more just going to keep repeating ourselves again and again. But I feel like this is sort of like a really good example of what one of my problems with this show in general is that it has like really good ideas and themes and loads of ideas that like they never really truly expand upon, other than just having like one episode and once just being like, oh, this is a really cool idea, and then you never do anything with it. And then yeah, there's like so many stuff like this where like it could be really interesting, but then what do I do with it? Absolutely nothing. And this sort of like goes back to like the same point which I'm making again. But like 2003 showed like they had ideas and they had their themes, and when they have like a really good idea or theme, they really do truly expand on it, and to the point where like you know everything about it. But like this one's like, what if we got this and this and this? But yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, definitely. What if?
Yeah. Okay, so for the next episode, it is called uh um it's called Mouse's Attack. What do you think is gonna happen in this episode? Or next week's episode?
Mouse's attack. Hmm. Mouse's attack. It sounds like a mouse's attack. So I'm thinking it could be something to do with mice or mouse. Mouse's attack. I am. I have. I have no clue. I don't know. I really don't know. Mouse's attack. I think it's something to do with mice or mouses, whatever how you pronounce it, attacking something, or the turtles go up against mice, what that sort of stuff. But to be honest, I'm quite. I don't know. I really don't know for this next episode. It is just Mouse's attack. It's a weird name. Yeah, that's throwing me off. I don't know.
You'll
I really have
understand
no
next time.
idea. Yeah, I'll understand. I'll probably say, "Ah, it was close." I'll probably kick myself next time, but yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. It's this name's just throwing me off track. Like Mouse's attack, mouses, mices, could be
Hmm.
a mouse, could be mice. I really don't know. I think it's something to do with a mouse, though.
Okay. All I'm gonna say is for like this one scene near the end, well, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, I predicted something like this would happen." So that should pump you up a little bit more in terms of this
Oh,
episode.
okay, okay, okay,
And the
I
best
got
part
it.
about yeah, and the best part about it is it has nothing to do with Krang.
Oh, gosh, thank you. My ears are
So
spared
yeah.
another day.
Yeah, I feel like that's it for this one. Do you have any final comments on this one, or do you want to end it? Because I feel like I've said everything I've had.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I've said all that I can today. I've gone into my nitty picky bits that I wanted to get into. I wanted to tear apart some bits and say my part, but overall, I'm I'm pretty good. I've got nothing else to say.
Okay. Well, yeah. This has been another episode of the Talking Told podcast. I'd like to thank you all for listening. Again, if you'd like to leave your comments, we are now. This is now going a bit more further in terms of getting comments in. So you want to leave one on Anchor, you can leave either a written message or a voice message. You can leave a comment on the YouTube videos or the YouTube community post. We've got Reddit posts on there, so look out for stuff on Reddit. I feel like that's it for right now. There may be more places which we could be expanded upon, but yeah. I've been your host, Teddy,
And I've been Hayden.
and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye, yo. Bye.
Bye.